Welcome back to the Jazzmentl YouTube channel. My name is Paul Tobey. Thanks for joining me for another one of my tutorials. Today we're diving into the soul jazz classic Soulful Strut by Young-Holt Unlimited. This iconic instrumental, released in 1968, is a cornerstone of the soul jazz genre, blending infectious grooves with a melody that just sticks with you. This tutorial was requested by you, one of our subscribers, so shout out to Kevin Weir for suggesting it. We love hearing your ideas. We'll focus on nailing that syncopated bass line, mastering those tricky parallel thirds, playing the melody with grace notes, and tackling the signature chord changes from B-flat major 7 to E-flat. Stick around because a bit later I'm going to post a link to the sheet music. So grab your keyboard and let's get into it. The first thing we're going to do is take a look at the introduction. Now, it might seem like it's easy if you look at the sheet music, but there's a little trick to it. So let me walk you through it. If you think about it in eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, what you want to do is count 3 eighth notes on each of these beats. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on the first beat of the second bar, and then eighth notes from that point on. So if we were to play that and count at the same time, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then the melody starts with those iconic parallel thirds, which is what we're going to take a look at right now. And this is where we're focusing on in the chart. So you're starting with the third finger and the first finger, and then 4 and 2, and then 4 and 2. This is really the best way to play this. So you kind of have to slide from 4-2 to 4-2. And then 3 and 5 on the next two notes. So one more time. And of course, you want to start that bass line right away. And then the next set is a little bit different. It's these ones. It's 3 and 1, 4 and 2, and 5 and 3. So it's a little bit easier, but when you get to 5-3, you have to hit the next 5-3-1 right after that, like that. So let's play the whole line. Now, if you want to get that melody correct and those parallel thirds working for you, it's probably a good idea to listen to this recording several times. But also, if you want to count through it, the only way to do that is by counting 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. And that way you can count the 16th notes where they appear and the 16th note rests where they appear as well. Now, it might take you a little bit to get those bass notes down. And I'm talking about the rhythm through this section here. If you take a look at the actual bass line that I've written out, and of course this is very different from the bass line in the album, that's because it's going to be very difficult to play what that bassist did along with the melody. So I've simplified it quite a bit, but it sounds like this. It's important to play that 16th note because it does give it that rhythm and that laid back feel, kind of anticipates the next beat. And then if we scroll down the tune a bit, you'll see at the B section, there's a couple of passing notes like that one there and that one there. So it's a little bit more complicated, but it does help that bass line feel that syncopation. Now the chord changes, B-flat major 7 to E-flat, sometimes E-flat major 7, it depends on how you'd like to play it. It's not the hardest chord changes, but it is very iconic and it's pretty easy to solo over that. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But first, let's focus on the transition between this section and the B section. So what we're referring to is this interlude right here, which is dotted eighth notes in octave unison. One of the things that's going to be tricky about this is right here. This note appears a 16th note before this one. So it's kind of syncopated. Let's play it. There really isn't anything too difficult about the melody at B, but it is important to catch these grace notes that I've written into the score because it's really part of the original recording and it does give it that iconic sound. And just before we get into the next part of the tutorial, hit the thumbs up button to keep the good vibes flowing. Next, drop a comment below. What is your favorite part of Soulful Strut? Or what jazz tune would you like to tackle next? And finally, if you haven't already, press the subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss a beat on our jazz piano journey. So from the pickup to B, and of course, the melody shifts a little bit. You've got a dotted eighth and a 16th, where sometimes it's just straight eighths. So it's important to catch those. I would say just practice it as much as you possibly can. Fitting the right hand and the left hand together with that feel is going to be the most important thing. So I've scrolled down a bit. Let's start 2 bars before C. C is just a repeat of the A section, so it gets back to that original parallel thirds. Nothing too tricky about what I just played, except for maybe this here, which is the pickup into B. 1, 2, da da ba ba da da. So let's play that. 1, 2, 3, ba ba da. Now the melody in this section is a little different than before, so you definitely have to read through it. And I scroll down, let's keep going. Now, the only thing, of course, that's different is really these 2 bars here. So it's important to get the rhythms right. And then just in this last bar here, there's a few 16th notes that you have to hit. And then there's that dotted 8th interlude. And then we're into the solo section. Now I've notated the solo section with just chord symbols, but you want to keep that left hand bass going. And if we were to solo over that, it's something like this. I would say some good ideas would be to just play the scales. And then think about a C blues scale, which you can really play over both chords. Okay, there's a couple of soloing ideas for you. If you have other ideas on how to solo over this tune, please put it in the comments below if it helps the other players. All right, the last thing I want to do before I post a link to the sheet music is go over to the grand piano. Let's put it all together and hear what it sounds like. Okay, as promised, up in the corner is a link to download the sheet music, and I've also posted a link in the description below. It's the same sheet music that we've been using in this tutorial. Yes, there's a small cost, but every purchase helps us continue our mission and reach jazz musicians the world over. Thanks in advance for doing that. And if you're looking for some more funky tunes to play on piano, recently I did a tutorial on Chameleon by Herbie Hancock. You'll find a link to that video right here.